Down.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Roxamore Sports coverage of the 210 Speed and Agility 7-on-7 right here at the Woodland Hills Wolvarena. Right now, we are looking at Johnstown, all the way from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, going against South Allegheny. South Allegheny in the dark blue, Johnstown in the light blue, right there at the offensive 35-yard line.
And it's now 4th down and 13. South Allegheny leading 7-0 over the Trojans. Big 4th down here for Johnstown.
Indeed, 6-0 right now is the score. South Allegheny in the lead, and ball heading over to number 11 from Johnstown, successfully so. Oh, hold up, never mind. Take it back. We're going back up on the field here.
Yeah, I was getting ready to change the scoreboard, and it definitely looked like a catch.
Yeah, you fooled me. All right, well.
So it is now 8-0 South Allegheny.
Indeed it is. Are we still having 2 returns? So there was a turnover there, and now South Allegheny back at the 40-yard line, ready for action. Quarterback wearing his cap. He means business. And what do we got here? Quarterback in action. He sends it short and successfully done. Defense took a while to take him out, but they got him. He made it past the 35-yard line.
And we see some invaders from the other side of the field coming over here. Some Amani players excited after a turnover, and they're going to go back to their field so we can continue our game over here. Speaking of Amani, we'll see them coming up next.
Absolutely. Amani versus Carrick. That's for the 6:30 game. And right now, we are looking at South Allegheny in all their glory. As to say that, give them the commentators jinx out of bounds. South Allegheny still at the 40-yard line. But we did witness some strength there from the quarterback as he's able to send that ball far. And again, we want to thank you all for joining us here on the Roxamore Sports Network as we cover the 7-on-7 event here at the Woodland Hills High School. Shout out to Coach D. Brown, the founder of the 210 Speed and Agility 7-on-7. And we are in year 2 of the 7-on-7. And that ball is off to no one, keeping South Allegheny.
So that brings up a
35-yard.
4th down and 20. Of course, South Allegheny last year, a disappointing 1-9 in the Interstate Conference, going 0-5 in said conference. Season started off well for them, winning at York 25-7, and then losing 9 straight games. But yeah, some of these schools, there's nothing embarrassing. Imani, who we're going to see next, they're a traditional powerhouse. South Allegheny really started to turn their season around once they played. Elizabeth Forward made a deep run last year, so we'll see if they can get this 4th down conversion. And they're going to go for it all, throwing in triple coverage. An incredible interception there by the Trojan.
Indeed. Let's see whose number that is. We know the athlete.
That was number 19, Max. That was the guy I was explaining earlier, said, I really like the way he looks out there with the color scheme. And now I really like the way he's playing safety out there with that beautiful interception.
Absolutely. It's worth mentioning we do not have a roster that matches up the names with the numbers, and the numbers that you can find online are not necessarily accurate. It is for Woodland Hills, but not for other schools here playing here today. For the 7-7, that is. But nonetheless, if you know number 19, give him a shout-out in the comment section, provided it's not locked up. But let's see. That sends Johnstown to the 40-yard line as they now turn the tide. Score is now 8-3, Johnstown just behind.
Three receivers to the near side. That pass is complete for a short gain of about 6 there. That will bring up 2nd down and 19 for the Trojans.
Perhaps a little bit of symbolism. The sun just now popped up around the clouds, and the sky is looking spiffier.
Yeah,
Johnstown might have a miracle in the making.
I was just going to say, the quarterback for South Allegheny is wearing a hat today, and today seems like one of those days wherever you don't need, or excuse me, where you don't really think you're going to need it, and then, of course, the sun comes out to spite me.
Yuck. All right, let's see what we got here. Quarterback.
Kareem Taylor with the pump fake. Throws it. It's got a man. It's caught. Tries to make a couple men miss, but that is enough for the first down and goal. But, Max, there's a term we've used to describe some of these players and their classification. We've used terms like, rising sophomore, rising junior, which means, that's what they're going to be. Well, now that the school year's ended, that's technically what they are, but the school year hasn't started yet, if that makes any sense. Here's a phrase I never thought I'd use. Rising freshman.
Rising freshman. We got an 8th grader in here. All right. Well, former 8th grader, rather. I mean, if you could start off strong in your freshman year, I mean, that's going to be great down the line.
Taylor showing some mobility, looking for someone to go to. Has a man caught at the goal line. Do they roll a touchdown? They do not. So no touchdown, but a lot easier to get that third down now.
Yeah, getting there. Johnstown can take the lead by 1 point if they get this touchdown in there, and they got that option to get that additional 1 or 2 points after a successful touchdown, provided they actually get that touchdown. So let's see what we got here. They were just outside the end zone. It's almost like a sure thing here. And touchdown it is.
6 points for the Trojans, 9-8. See what they do here. Go for 1 or 2. Safe bet would be to go for 1, but you want to get that 3-point lead to make sure a turnover doesn't kill you. And they are going to go for 2 to try to get that 3-point lead. Smart decision there.
Yeah. Get that interception in there, that can ruin your day. So, and you might as well. You don't lose any points if you have an interception at the additional 2-point or 1-pointed touchdown. So, you might as well go for the risk, especially with a quarterback such as the one from Johnstown. He's one that's not afraid of making risks, and he delivers. So, let's see what we got here. For Johnstown, they are in action. And bada bing to number 7 from Johnstown. He usually is a safe bet, as I've seen him make some mighty fine interceptions before, as well as some pretty far out receptions. So they do get that additional 2 points they were looking for. Now it is a 3-point game. 11/8.
Yeah, Trojans definitely need to, the Gladiators. They have right church. Wrong pew. But we talked about just the drive from Johnstown, just from their stadium, Trojan Stadium, to the Wolvarena is an hour and 22 minutes, 59 miles, and that's without traffic.
Right.
Luckily, you do avoid the turnpike, so no tolls are being paid, which is a good thing.
Quarterback in action. And sends off to number 4, past the 30-yard line. Well received.
Gain of about 10 or 11, and actually going to move it up a little bit more than that. Try to steal a couple yards. Seems to have worked. That will bring up a 2nd down and 7.
South Allegheny on the offense. Ready for some action here. Let's see what they got. Quarterback. Eyeing down and runs out of time on that play.
Takes the sack. That brings down up 3rd down and 7. Ball placed at the 27-yard line.
I mean, so far it's a good game. I mean, 11/8, not too shabby, not too shabby. I mean, Johnstown and South Allegheny going head-to-head at each other. Pleasing results, to say the least.
Back to pass. Pass is complete for the first down. So that will bring up first and goal for the Gladiators. Now, again, we do not know if this is the correct person, but just going off of last year's stats, quarterback in there would be Ryan Courts, 5'10", rising junior. Last year, completed 14 passes out of 43 attempts. No touchdowns, 5 interceptions for 116 yards. Or, excuse me, 166 yards, I should say. Now, again, we don't know if that's accurate, if that's who's down there, but just going off of last year's rosters and last year's stats, that's who's out there. So that's what we're going to call him as he completes the next pass. Chipping away, trying to erase that 3-point deficit.
And special shout out to class of 2023. Congratulations for making it thus far. And if you're heading off into college, I highly recommend buying the books online if you can help it. Of course, watch out. There are a lot of scams out there, but usually you can get textbooks a lot cheaper online. And of course, to those of you heading off into your senior year, well, congratulations for making it to your senior year. And of course, good luck.
Congratulations on all your being a live success. As that pass is thrown in, a little bit of hand fighting down there, but nothing too bad. That brings up third down and goal. And for South Allegheny, they do return their leading receiver last year, Cameron Epps, the 5'2" rising junior. They do lose their leading rusher last year, Deshaun Carter, going for 744 yards on 124 carries, averaging a neat and tidy 6 yards a carry, scoring 6 touchdowns last year. But Cameron Epps was their second leading rusher at 179 yards on 44 carry. So maybe see him take more of a running role this year. And of course, it's back to pass. Looking, has to throw it away, has a man open in the back of the end zone for the touchdown for the Gladiators. 14-11. South Allegheny over Johnstown.
Not bad at all, not bad at all. It's like back and forth like a tennis game here with the score. Of course, they got a chance to get more points, and it looks like they're going in for that 2-point attempt at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, the last one made sense because you try to get that 3-point lead. So that way if you have a turnover, it only ties the game. But this one, even if you just go for the extra point, it's still a 2-possession game no matter what. So, but again, you do have more room to work with the extra 5 yards. So let's see what Gladiators write up.
All right, quarterback on the right, and it's in. They get that 2-point attempt successfully in. 16-11 is now the score. South Allegheny in the lead after being behind by just a mere 3 points.
It's kind of weird, Max. Johnstown's formed a little bit of a rivalry with Woodland Hills over the who's the better shade of light blue out there on the field. Last couple weeks, they've gone head-to-head, and seems like almost every one of those games comes down to the wire on the last play. And the energy is just different down there when those two teams play.
Absolutely.
And they're not playing today, so they're getting a little break from each other.
I mean, I would like to see Woodland Hills play a little bit more. They were playing earlier today, but we missed that game, unfortunately. But seeing them here at their own stadium playing against all these schools really is a sight to see.
Yeah, they're done for the day, so they get to go home and enjoy dinner early.
Absolutely.
Must be nice.
Unlike Johnstown, hopefully they get to eat out today. Quarterback ran out of time on that play.
It takes the imaginary sack. And again, that's what the unfortunate thing about the QB scrambling thing is you're not allowed to scramble, but you wonder if maybe next year they're going to put a rule in where maybe you can scramble one time, just like in Turkey Bowl rules, where a quarterback can scramble one time.
Right.
So that would add another element, but then again, it also, one of the reasons they have it is, one, no one's rushing the passer, and two, for a quarterback, you need to learn how to not always rely on your legs and rely on your arm.
Right.
Like that bullet right there by Taylor.
Yeah, after number 7, again, another safe bet here for Johnstown, as he usually is the go-to receiver.
21-yard completion on that play brings up 3rd down and 4. Ball at the 24-yard line.
And as much as we want to give a special shout-out to Coach D. Brown, we also want to give a special shout-out to somebody that's not here today. That is PA Today. Be sure to check out their Twitter page. They have quite a few great interviews with the athletes. Some here today on the field, so be sure to check out PA Today on Twitter.
Yeah, almost a touchdown there. It had a man open, one-on-one coverage. Just Taylor could not drop it into the buckets. That brings up 4th and 4. Huge 4th down here for the Trojans.
And this game is just about over. We got roughly 6 minutes to go on the clock. Of course, we got another game here. If you're here, we're a little bit too early. We got Amani versus Carrick for our next game in roughly 6 minutes. These guys started with the action right on the dot of 6 p.m., so that could potentially be the same story for the next game, but we shall see. Johnstown looking good here on the offense after number 11 as he receives the ball past the 20-yard line.
What I like there was they ran kind of a pick against each other. That way created some space underneath because you only needed the 4 yards, and they did get it. Ball is completed to the 17-yard line, so 1st and goal, 17 yards to pay dirt.
And for the 7-7 event, I mean, the weather has been pretty fair to us. I mean, nothing too brutal. No, nothing to pass out on. I mean, this is the ideal. Almost had a good interception there by Perry. Or South Allegheny. Perry and South Allegheny have similar colors. That's throwing me off right there. But nonetheless, almost a good interception there by South Allegheny. But, yeah, the weather hasn't been too taxing. I mean, right now it's cool. Got quite a few spectators here cheering on these athletes. And, of course, got you guys as well with the best seats in the house. But
down on the field earlier, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, man. You know, it's not too hot outside, so it's good because sometimes when you're on that, especially on this AstroTurf,
oh, yeah.
That turf can really humble you and really put you in a camel clutch.
Absolutely.
And even on a day like today, as that pass is intercepted in the end zone, little bit of contact. So 3 more points for the Gladiators, and a little surprised a penalty flag wasn't thrown on the play there.
Right. 19-11. Ay.
Because in our game going on to our left, we made the joke about Imani. Or excuse me, that was in our previous game before we came on the air. And I believe that actually, we'll get back to that story later, Max, because I believe that will be the final as both teams are leaving. And, yep, they are going to line up for the handshake. So the final score in our game, South Allegheny Gladiators 19, Johnstown Trojans 11.
Hey, but Johnstown folks, if you are listening, we will be back at 7:30 with Johnstown versus Still Valley. So that'll be the last game of today on the Roxamore Sports. Of course, that's the last game here for South Allegheny for our coverage. But we'll be back with more action from Johnstown at 7:30. So be sure to tune in with us at 7:30 p.m. I'm Max Millankira alongside with everybody's favorite guy, the one and only Mike Costa. We got our next game coming up. That is Monessen versus Bashir. Actually, I lied to you. That's Amani versus Carrick. So we'll be right back here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.